What up? Welcome back to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones, and in this one, we're going to take a look at the next custom repaint figure from the Last Night on Earth McFarlane DC Multiverse Omega Batman. Now, there pretty much was not a lot of things that I could do with this guy, but in the end, I'm pretty happy with it. He will be a cool addition to the collection, standing right next to the original unaltered version of Omega. Now, unlike some of the other figures from this line, working on this one, I mean, he's cool, he's sleek, he's pretty articulated, but he's an okay figure. I mean, he comes straight out of the pages of The Last Night on Earth, so that's cool, but he's just a simple design of a Batman. I'm not too much in love with him, but he is pretty cool for what he is. Now, what I did with this one was I did make him a custom head. Now, if you look at the comics of The Last Night on Earth, Omega is the original Bruce Wayne after a lot of years of battles and scars. So, if you take this head that I repainted, I pretty much tried to get all the scars accurately and the bumps and stuff on his head. I mean, I did a pretty good job, not the best, but I did add the lifted up, like pinkish reddish tinted scarred areas. You got some things across his nose, on his chin. Then right on the left side of his forehead, he has a nice little war wound. Then he has a scar starting at his right eye going up into like a bigger, like matted, disfigured area on the top of his scalp. Pretty fun painting this guy, trying to match it to the comic book. Now there is a picture in the comics that where it's the reveal of the Bruce Wayne, so I pretty much tried to follow that paint job and scarred up just to get it a little bit comic accurate. Now I also did paint in the pins underneath him of his arms because they were black, and I did paint him in. You have to add, it's like a gray added with a little bit of midnight blue just to get the perfect gray that this is, because it's not really a light gray, it's kind of like a bluish dark gray. But I finally was happy with the color that I added in to cover in those pins. And then of course you have the head. Now I did retain articulation. You can turn him, he looks up and he looks down, so I was happy with that. Now I did get this head offline. It was like a unpainted resin cable head, so I had to like really like sand it down and add the little nicks and stuff. Now what I did do is this time I used gel super glue as like how can I say this, as like a starting off point. So wherever I saw the higher raised scars and stuff like that, I would put a little glob and kind of let it dry so that it has that hump. And that's how I got some of the effects, like the damaged hairline up on top. I actually like shaved it down and then added a little bit of super glue and then just like squished it around to make that deformed gash wound that he has on his forehead. All in all, really happy with this guy. Now, before anybody says boo hoo, you know that this was not really a lot of work. It kind of was, but I also added a pretty cool accessory, which is I added the dark side head on a pike. Now this does come from the comics. It does show in the end, in the final battle, that he has Darkseid's head on a pike, and then him and the Batman that's from this storyline actually have a pretty vicious battle, and they bring in this pike to like stab each other and wound each other. Now it does fit in his hand. You can have him holding the pike with Darkseid's head on there. And he does look pretty awesome like this. And another thing I did, but this was kind of like a side thing, so I'm not really going to make a video on it. But the Batman that he actually fights in this one is more like a Capullo style Rebirth Batman. And they haven't actually given us a figure like completely like this. They did give us the one with the cape that swoops to the side. So I kind of like roughly made my own, just for funsies. Now I did do something cool, which is that the head is articulated on this guy. He doesn't have like that neck connection where you can't move his head at all. And he came out all right. Pretty happy with him. But like I said, did just do it on a whim, so I could still work on him and mess with him. But this is actually the form of Batman that Omega fights in the comic. And I really wanted to represent that Batman style, that costume in this. But anyways, guys, like I said, not really a lot of work, but some cool ideas if you want to run with them. Pretty cool. I'm working on a lot of customs. Don't really want to give a lot away, but I'm also going to work on the Scarecrow and the Bane so I could finish off this line, and then we'll get into Damian Wayne Robin and the Drowned that I'm going to do some repainting and customs on. So anyways, for right now, that's it. Stay safe out there. Keep collecting. Keep hunting. And I will see you on the next one.